Hey, welcome back to another episode of Fishing is My Summer Job. As you can tell, I'm out fishing for walleyes today. I got a little bit of footage of getting set up, and we'll see how that turns out, but I'm hoping to get them. We got a little weather pattern change that I think is going to turn the fish on, because we've had high pressure for a couple days. We got a little disturbance floating through. That usually turns them on. So hold tight and we'll see what happens. Alright, so as I fight this fish, I want to talk a little bit about my trolling setup. I'm running one planer board to start this video with 2 down rods. Now I tend to do that on certain drop-offs where I've got a steeper drop-off where the fish are sitting in a certain zone and I don't have a lot of room, so I can pull things in real tight. Also, this lake where I'm on has a lot of twists and turns. Sometimes if you're turning a lot with the boards, it's hard to tell if you put the bite or not. So if I put the 2 down rods, which I usually will run crawler harnesses on, I can maintain and watch them a little closer. And then later I'll be running a 2 or sometimes 3 board set full in certain areas where it's kind of a bigger, wider flat. But when you see me running this, it's usually because I'm on a tight drop-off where I'm running 1 crankbait, usually out on the planer board just as a bonus fish, and a lot of times that's the one that goes, and I'll be running 2 down rods, which I like to think is the kind of the money rods, the ones that I'm putting my bats on to catch fish right next to the boat running the crawler harnesses. Now watch the board on this clip. This is a real good if you haven't done a lot of fingerboard fishing. You can see I'm turning a little bit, but if you watch the board, it's moving back, and it's going to move back more right about now. And as it moves back, it's a real telltale sign. There it goes. And I usually line it up on the corner of my boat, so anytime it moves out at a certain point, I know I have a fish. And I love the clickers for knowing if I have bites, because sometimes the board will move and I'll just go click, and that's a sign. I forget to shut them off sometimes when I'm fighting the fish, and it doesn't seem to bother me, but it is kind of loud on these videos. So I'm fishing for walleyes on this trip. I do get one right after the keeper goes dead, but primarily pike and bass, and that's kind of usually catch about 3 or 4 pike to every walleye, especially if you're fishing in the mornings. At night, I do a little better on the walleyes, but I've been having some other stuff going on, so I do a little bit more morning fishing. Right, for the rest of the video, you're going to see me running all 3 rods on the same side. Now, I'll tend to do this in an area where the depth is about the same, where the fish seem to be sitting on a flat. There's a couple of areas on this lake I'm fishing that have, I'll call it a 24 to 26 foot flat. The other areas, it goes from 15 to 30 feet, like quick, and the fish are sitting on a steep drop-off. This will be a real gentle drop-off. It makes it a little better. And as you watch, you'll see the boards go flying back. Now, when I'm fishing this type of set, I usually still will run a crankbait on the outside board, and then I'll have the down rod and the middle rod set up with my crawler harness system. One of the things I do different than a lot of other people is I put an extra length between the weight and the harness. I'm usually running the harness, or the crawler harness about probably 4 to 6 feet behind the weight. A lot of people just hook the harness that comes out of the package, which usually is a 2-foot lead on it, directly to your weight, and that's how they fight it. I'll move it back a little bit, and I think it makes a difference. You have the disturbance of the weight, or if the weight picks up some leads, and then behind it, I have my harness. Now, I like running bottom bouncers versus inline weights, and I think the reason I like it is because the bottom bouncer catches the weeds and then will flip them off, and they slide below it. My harness them, so I don't have to clean them quite as much. Now, there are still days when you pick up a ton of weeds, usually on the weekends, and you got a million people out there boating on this particular lake, but it's the way it goes. So just another little tip: longer lead on your harness, and put some good swivels in there so you don't get the line spin. And then I usually use 2-ounce bottom bouncers because they go back at a rate of about 3 feet out to 1 foot down. So if I'm fishing 15 feet water, or I want my bait down 15 feet, they go out about 45 feet. Now it varies a little bit depending on how much line it feels, but that's kind of a good way to do it. These trolling rods are the way to go if you try catching walleyes consistently, at least trolling for walleyes. Pike, bass, whatever consistent. Alright, this is an interesting clip. Now watch the inside board and the outside board. If you watch the inside board, it is moving a little bit. Its position changes. It tips a tiny bit. The back board goes flying back. Now, my camera goes dead shortly after this, and I suspect that the inside board had been hit by a walleye, and the walleye was just swimming along with it after that. They'll do that sometimes. So real subtle changes in the board. My camera goes dead right after I leave this fish, and then within 3 minutes before I even get the next rod out, I reel in a walleye on that middle board. So I think it had it swimming along with me. Now, if I'm fishing a place like the Saginaw Bay, where I'm going straight for a real long time, it's a little easier to tell. This lake, there's not one straight drop. Well, there's one straight drop off of the whole lake. Everything else has a series of curves and contour line changes that make it real tough sometimes to tell on the boards, especially if it's choppy. Now, it's not really choppy here, but that's just how that goes. But it's kind of interesting how they go. So I did end up with one walleye on the trip, and yeah, had a good time. It's always fun getting out there and fishing. I tried doing a catfishing flathead video, and I hammered a big fish, tons of fish. The video just didn't turn out dark. So, if you watch my Instagram, you probably saw some reels of a couple of catfish and some pictures. I actually got a flathead, which I've been trying to get for a while. So, hey, thanks for tuning in and watching, and remember, fishing is my summer job.